get your brushes, go get your paint. This is how you do it the Shoshie way. I'm gonna teach you, be ready to learn. Cause when I'm done, it's your turn. Take your time, steady and you can do it right. Shoshie can enter my world, watch what grows. And when I'm through, why not have it go? Take your time, steady and you can do it right. Shoshie can enter my world, watch what grows. And when I'm through, why not have it go? We paint miniatures. We paint miniatures. We paint miniatures. Turn on, tune in, hear what I say. Watch real closely, enjoy your stay. You'll see me painting from up above. And if you like it, give it mad love. Take your time, steady and you can do it right. Shoshie can enter my world, watch what grows. And when I'm through, why not have it go? Take your time, steady and you can do it right. Shoshie can enter my world, watch what grows. And when I'm through, why not have it go? We paint miniatures. 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 We paint miniatures.
Hey guys, it's Shoshie from Shoshie's Minis, and we are live, and it's Wednesday, and I bet you guys are tired of being inside. How is everybody doing? It's Aurora, and I see, how do I say your name? Ink JG? I think that's how I'm gonna say it. And then Rooted Lifeless 95, hello, welcome everybody. So I've got some cool things going on today. We're going to be doing some priming with a new product that I've never tried before by Badger. It's called 3D Prime for use on common 3D print materials, ABS, PET, PLA, etc. And I don't know what any of those mean. I'm new to this. You're not. I'm still working. Oh, you're still working? Oh my gosh, well that's good. I guess it's better to be doing something, right? I'm still working too. So let's talk about these primers. So as you guys might know, I got this base designed by Matt Sexwish, who has a Patreon called The Joy of Basing. Highly recommend that if you are looking for something unique and special and being able to increase your basing skills, that you follow his Patreon. I mean, even if you just give $1 to his Patreon, it's worth it because he's an amazing person. He's an Ubermensch, right? He's also from Germany, Ubermensch. Hi, Jamie G. Hi, Ravage. Let's talk about this Broncos cap, right? I'm a 4th generation Colorado native, and I wear this cap because my dad, rest his soul, who is no longer with us, was a Broncos fan and raised me to be a Broncos fan. So come at me. How's that, Ravage? He's like... All right, let's talk about this base. All right, so this is, I don't know what it's made of. It's 3D printed, but Matt Sexwish designed it and created the file for me. And it's supposed to be for this Celestial Mini that I got. Well, you guys have seen me working on her. Wait. Yeah, there we go. And so she fits just perfect on this, and she's gonna be really cool once I get, you can already kind of see the whole setup. Peyton Manning for life. Yeah. I'm a fan of Peyton Manning. I am. And I also, I really did like, I became kind of a little bit of a Colts fan after Peyton, right? You know, who wouldn't? It's just sad because every time he would ever play the Colts, he choked every time, and I get it. It's emotional times. I get it. So, he has some trauma. All right. So this is a Celestial Mini that this base is for. So when I got this model, here, let me show you what this looks like. You can see, as all 3D printed things, can you see the little print lines? You can really see them here, right? I don't know how that's going to look, but there's print lines all over this, which so the person who printed this for me was Still Life Miniatures. You can find her she has her own website, so stilllifeminiatures.com, and you can also go to Still Life Miniatures at Facebook. Jen, she's awesome. I don't know if you're here, Jen, but Jen is the one who printed this for me, and she did a fantastic job. I sent her the file that Matt sent me, and we got it all printed, and then I was like, I want to prime this, and then I found out about Badger's new primer. So I was like, hey, Badger, you want to let me try it, and I'll let everybody know how it is. You guys have never tried it. This is unopened. This is unopened primer. All of the seals are here, so you'll get to see this firsthand. We'll all get to decide for ourselves as we watch this. It'll be good. You'd need a bundle of Bondic. Hello, Rumble. Sports. Aurora doesn't like sports. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. All right, so we're going to, you would need a lot of Bondic. I'm just curious what other people out there have done in the past for their 3D printed things. I think you probably could do some filling and sanding with this. I don't know how that'll work, but we're gonna try this primer and just see how it goes. And I think this is the perfect thing to try it on because it's big and you'll be able to see it really well, and we'll be able to see if these little print lines get filled up. All right, let's take a look here. I'm gonna turn my overhead. So here is the model, and you can see I did my best to clean off some of this. Some of it I'm not super worried about, so my plan is, once I get this primed, I think, and then painted, I'm going to block off part of it and submerge, like basically do a resin water base here. I don't know how I'm going to do this yet, but I'm going to attempt that. Remember to remove that seal or primer everywhere when you squeeze. Yes, I will. All right, so let's take a look at these primers. So it says simple 2-step application. striation filling coat, detail enhancing coverage. Interesting. Strong, durable adhesion, easy cleanup. All right, so I'm gonna read you guys the directions on these. Kapaka, hello. This is awesome. I have a 3D printer, and I've been wanting to start painting some of the items. Yeah. All right, so let's read this here. I'm gonna have to take my glasses off. It says no thinning necessary. Shake well before using. This is the black. I'm gonna use this first because I think I'm gonna zenithal prime this. I'm going to use all three to see how they work. Okay, apply with a 0.5 or larger nozzle at 20 to 30 psi. 1 to 3 or was 1.3 or 2 on the bar. I have to look at my airbrush because I don't know what my psi is currently at right now. I have this little Grex compressor. It's currently at, it's much higher than that. It's currently at almost 3. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it's almost at 3. So turn that down. I think. Yeah, we'll turn that down. What does it say? It says 1.3 or 2. Okay. Let's see if I can turn this down. I'm not so great with this compressor as I am the other one. All right, lock, push. Maybe I won't be able to. I also do not have super strong hands because they are little. And this is push and lock. Okay. No. Here, I'm going to turn this off. Let out the air. Well, if I can't get that PSI turned down, we're just going to use it as is and just cross our fingers because that's pretty much the story of my life. Okay, 0 PSI is about 14.73 PSI. I'm a nerd. Dab says, pull up. What would I do without my awesome followers? You guys are awesome. I am fiddling with the compressor. So now I get to turn and push to lock. Okay. I'm gonna turn that down. It's not as high as it was. Okay. We want it to be more, less. All right, now it's almost a 2. Use as is. We'll get it. All right, it's almost, yeah. Okay, it's where it needs to be now. I locked it. How are you, Bokanur? Bokanur said use as is. But I want to follow the directions. Did you have a MAC valve on your B brush? On my B brush? MAC valve? Oh, I do. Is that what this is? Hold on. Yes, I do have one of these little valves, so I can adjust. It. So we will end up probably doing that too. So let's see what it also says. All right, load the desired amount of 3D Prime smoother. This is not the smoother. This I think is the smoother. Yep, translucent surface smoother. So this is a 2-step process. So first you get the 3D smoother. And I'm sure I have to shake this as well. Yes, shake well before using. Make sure it's good. It's got some bubbles in it. All right, now fold the airbrush 4 to 6 inches or 10 to 15 centimeters from the item. Apply 1 to 3 even coats over the surface of the item. Apply in light coats, building up until the entire surface is evenly covered and 3D print striations are filled. Immediately shoot spray through Airbrush Cleaner through that, and I have some of that as well. Here it is. This is the Badger Spray Through Airbrush Cleaner. If you've never used this, you know that I think this is liquid gold. and I have absolutely love it. Okay, so then immediately, because that way it won't dry, this stuff, you don't want this stuff to dry in your airbrush. Oh, so like a self-leveling spray-on resin. Oh, maybe that is right. I don't know if it's a resin, but it's definitely something similar. I'm interested in finding how it works as well. Okay, so then for best result, allow 2 to 6 hours, the longer the better, drying time before beginning step 2. I should have done that before this, but we'll do little test sprays. How's that? Okay, then load the desired color and the amount of 3D prime color coat. So I've got gray, white, and black. So there's three different colors that you can get. Or a polyurethane coat that self-levels. Very cool. It's possible, yeah. I don't know. Okay, and then you do the color coat over and immediately shoot the spray through Airbrush Cleaner to clean it. Okay, so then it takes, for best results, allow to dry 30 to 90 minutes longer. The longer the better. Check all areas and reshoot any again. Your item is now primed and ready for painting. Clean your airbrush by immediately spray through Airbrush Cleaner through it. It's non-toxic. Wear a mask for protection. Not recommended for use by children of 13 years or under without adult supervision. And obviously don't ingest it. It says if ingested, do not induce vomiting contact position. All right, so this is what I think I'm gonna do, because I don't have, what was it? It was like 4 to 6 hours. I can't remember. Yeah, 2 to 6 hours. Wait for this to dry. We'll just do a few little test sprays with this and dry it. Maybe we'll try to dry it with the hair dryer and cross our fingers and hope that does something. And if we keep the coats thin at first, then maybe it will dry faster. So you'll get to see how that works, hopefully. All right, so first of all, when it says wear ventilation mask, you got to wear a mask. Always wear a mask, especially now that we have this bronchial attacking super virus coming around. People always say to me, well, I'm healthy, I don't need to wear a mask, I barely airbrush. No, you need to wear a mask, because you never know. Because whatever these particles are that get in the air, they stay in your lungs forever, and they're gonna mess you up. And so that's why we're gonna wear a mask. Painting with Cricks, thank you so much for the subscription. 28 months. Over 2 years. That is fantastic. In fact, let me write down real quick. I'm going to write down Painting Cricks on my subscribers. And I want to say, if you guys are watching this and you are appreciating the hard work that I do for you, and you feel like subscribing and helping support the channel, I will be ever so grateful. And it does help support the channel. If you have a Twitch, if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe for free. And that's my little spiel. All right, share the love, all the paint the things. This is a silver lining of this staycation, watching Shoshie. Aw, Bob, that's so nice. Okay. I'm gonna put this on, and Lamuna says I'm sure it's only as good as the size of the layer lines. That's very possible. These layer lines, now I said Still Life Miniatures printed this for me. The layer lines are very small. You can hear it better because they're thicker on the bottom, but you know, the bottom doesn't matter as much. You did the Prime thing today? Oh, thank you, Bob. You did the Twitch Prime subscription, Trish? I really appreciate that. I really do. Especially because I've got a couple commissions for next month. I think I have 2. That might be it. As far as my income, it's just really gonna probably take a hit during these times. So even if you just subscribe a little bit, like $4.99, the lowest tier, it just makes a difference to me. And I'm gonna get my gloves because I don't want to get paint all over my hands. I have no idea what's in this. Safety, safety. Right before this whole virus outbreak happened, I ran out of gloves, and I have a hard time finding ones that fit my hands because I have very small hands. So I just was like, I'm just gonna order a case. And so I have a lot of gloves, but that's good because I'm using them to go to the grocery store now. If you win the lotto, I'd send you more stuff. Thank you. Or if you win the lotto, that makes sense. I would appreciate that. Okay, you could just be my little patron, you know? All right, I'm gonna flip cameras and we're going to put a little bit of spray brush cleaner through the, here, I'm gonna put this on my head first. Might take my hat off. All right, let me know. You can hear our Shoshie. I'm your father. Okay, this always makes lines on my face. Okay, hat. Go Broncos. All right, now this, let me make sure this is the right stuff. Yep, translucent surface smoother. Give that a good shake. And I'm going to put some of the spray through cleaner through first, just to make sure there's no little parts and pieces that are in my way. And I got my little paper towel. And I'm going to open that up some more since we've already got it at a low PSI, low-ish. All right. Aw, thank you, Kapeka. Okay. Oh, we forgot to open all the seals, as I was already warned. Okay. I'm really interested in seeing how this goes. I've been waiting to try this all week. Okay. So I'm just going to put this back on here. Hello, the Seraphim. How are you doing? Well, I hope. I'm just going to fill this up. So I've just got a little bit because we're going to do tests, remember? So I'm going to test this on various sides of this because the print lines are different on different sides. I'm going to start right here. And I'm just going to do thin coats to start. See how it goes. So I can see it's kind of filling it up already. This is probably not the kind of primer that you want to get on your equipment and stuff. You're hanging in there. I understand. So now this, you can see the print lines on this side are much thicker. So that's, the sides are going to take some more work. And I might even need to end up putting some Milliput. Okay, let's do this side now. See, it does sort of fill it up. I like it. What happens if I just blow the air? Okay, so I got, let's do these sides because those are a little bit different. Now do you see these little holes opening up? That is probably because it's not drying. So it's probably better to do these little short bursts. It's going to make for an amazing base. I hope so. Okay. Now, because we don't want to wait forever for that to dry, we're going to go ahead and run our spray through airbrush primer through here. Actually, you know what? I'm going to see if this is drying. It is drying a little bit. It's starting to dry. You can kind of see where it's starting to dry on the edges. Would that primer obscure details on a mini? That's a good question. We're just gonna have to see. I think it could obscure some. You have the option of spraying it really thin. Watch this. So this is, you know, that first coat is very thin. There's the second coat. All right, now we're out. So that's a thin coat right there. You can see how thin that is. You don't have to spray it as thick as I was in the other things. But now we've got the spray through. And ooh, yeah, I can see why you want to put that through immediately. It already started to cake up on the inside of my airbrush. You can tell, I can feel it. All right, now dump that. And then I'm going to clean off that and then spray through. Where's my little dump pot? Okay, we're going to do that again. You've been thinking of a 3D printer for home, but you have to go PLA, not resin, not enough ventilation. That makes sense. Let's see how that... I think there's a little piece. Yep, there's a little piece. Now, all right, I think I got it all through. I'm going to do one more little, make sure, just to scrub on the sides. Who knows how this would gunk up an airbrush later. Okay. Now, let's see how dry it is, because it said hours. So here's what, this is already drying in the middle of that one. I'm going to take the hairdryer to it. We're going to try, that looks all cool. We're going to try using the hairdryer now. I'm gonna mute myself, and we're gonna cross fingers and hope that this works, because otherwise it's not gonna work optimally. I think we'll see. Maybe we can make it work. So Robert says, I just got a resin printer, and last night I printed a scan of Venus de Milo. Oh, that's very cool. You're gonna have to bring that to whip trips on Friday. Whip trip Friday. Okay, look, it dried pretty fast with the hairdryer. So I'm just taking this off just so I can talk a little better. I'm going to tell you what my thoughts are. So based on how this part dried over here, how this kind of ran a little bit, it kind of reminds me, it has a smell to it a little bit. Could be the 3D printed stuff. Now this is where we put like a thin coat, right? And it is fairly smooth. Now I'm looking at it, and it definitely is, if I'm looking, there are definitely spots that are not filled. But up here, it really does look filled. Okay, so this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to do some test sprays with the black and see how well it worked. Hey, Lady Iron. Wait, we got a lot of chat I got to catch up on. Taka says, I have an Ender 5 and I've been very happy with it. Definitely a learning curve, but I'm learning. I'm totally new to the hobby. Awesome. Thank you for following Potato Palace. That is an awesome name, Potato Palace. Bob says, there are so many busts and figures produced, I would never need to print my own, but but I put a resin printer out in the garage for ventilation. I feel like I would be better off without another hobby. Becca says, I printed out my World of Warcraft character and it came out really well. Ooh, I want to see that. On Friday, we have a thing called whip trips. If you haven't ever been, go to, actually somebody in, one of my mods do ! whip trips. On Fridays, we go and we show all of people's works in progress and all of the different things that everybody's working on. There it is, right there. Show and tell, or get criticism and comments on your latest creative endeavor. Post, so you don't have to get the criticism and comments. You could just show and tell. Totally up to you. Post your photos in the live image gallery of the Discord. So that will be on Friday. Come back on Friday, same time, and we're going to do that. And I want to see your 3D printed things, because that is really, like you said, it's a little hobby of its own. Bebuzz, thank you for the... You wanna get out a gecko already, Bebuzz? Saw this primer at this year's LVO and was curious to see how well it worked. So do you want to get out a gecko now? Or do you want to see how the primer works? I'm gonna let you choose. We can always hold off on the gecko. Dora says, you should try on a regular model so you know if the problem is with the primer or this printed model. That's not a bad idea. So far there's no problem. And I'm really curious, like, how will this primer work on, you know, if something without this, without the smoothing. All right, let's see how the primer works first. Okay, I'm gonna put my mask back on, and we're gonna start with the black and do some test sprays. Give me 1 second, and then we'll get the gecko out once we figure out what we're doing. Okay. I have too many things on my face. There we go. All right, now time to put some spray through. Oh, see, and I think something with this bottle. I might just have to switch. It's got a little bit of a leak, as you can see. All right, so let's do this. There we go. Put a little spray through, then dump it so that there's something in there that's already wet. And then we're gonna get the black. And then I have spray through all over my hands and desk. Okay, take this good. Let me read this. So it says, hold the airbrush 4 to 6 centimeters. Wait, inches, 4 to 6 inches, so about that far. From the item, apply the color evenly. Immediately shoot the spray through the airbrush to clean it. Okay. And this one doesn't take as long to dry, so that's nice. The first step apparently supposedly takes a long time to dry, but we used the hairdryer on it and it seemed to help. Just pulling that off right now, that looks a little thinner than my normal airbrush primer. Just looking at that. Hi, Mix and Middies. All right, we're going to shake this real well just to make sure I'm doing this right. And I'm just going to do, again, like a quarter of a cup. So we don't have too much in there, just about that much. Okay. Do this. All right. I'm going to start on the top. I can't tell yet. I think it's not fill enough. I think that looks better. Let's try the side. Yeah, I can see print lines on some of it, but that is probably because oh, we got a little cloggy here. Hold on. Okay. Oh, now that'll fill it. Oh my gosh. See that little chunk? Can you guys see that little chunk that's sprayed out? Let me see if I can pick that up with the brush. I have that little piece of paint still on there. Maybe I can get it off while it's still wet. That probably is not anything to do with this paint. That is probably more to do with the way I airbrush and how I have little pieces of junk left over in my airbrush. Okay, so let's see, this one had the most of that beginning filler on it. This one had the most, so let's see. Okay, that looks. You can see the lines a little bit. Can you see that? Let's hit this with a hairdryer and see how it goes. All right, give me a second. I'm going to mute myself and hit it with a hairdryer. Okay, check this out. I want to show this to you real quick. So this is what I'm noticing. I don't know if you can see. This part dried the most even. Can you see this blob right here? That is completely 100% my fault right there. That blob, but undried paint. I'm not going to touch it because I'm going to sand it after that dries. I don't want to mess with it right now, but it is starting to fill. Now, so far, this part had the most on it, but again, it like ran a little bit. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do the steps over again until we see like the print line starting to disappear. I feel like they are, but we're also not using it exactly to the directions. We're kind of trying to speed up a process that's supposed to be 3 or 4 layers of this stuff, 3 or 4 layers, letting them dry in between each layer for hours. So we're speeding through this to do the tests. So you got to keep that in mind. But I think I have hopes because it's already starting to look pretty good. All right, so we are out. We're going to put some spray through. Ooh, we're not going to drip on my face. I don't want to drip. All right, got a little bit of cleaner on my model. We'll see. Hopefully that won't rip off the primer that's already on it. Because it's really good. It's really strong cleaner. So I thought you were holding maracas. What? What? Oh, you mean these? My mask? No maracas. All right. You searched for this primer online and it was not able to find it. Is it available or is it in Kickstarter? It's available. Go to Badger. It's under Badger. Where's it called? Badger Airbrush Company. BadgerAirbrush.com. That's where you need to go. And you can also contact the Facebook group, and he might be able to give you a link, because I don't have a link. Hair dryer. Oh, the hair dryer you thought was maraca? Okay, so this has been sitting a little bit. There we go. Let's get the dump pot. I'm just going to wipe it out because there's hardly anything left in there. And I like how he says immediately put in the spray through cleaner. I'm going to get all the crusties off the side so they don't come through the airbrush again like they did the last time, because I should not have done that. Dump. I always dump that way. Alright. Alright, that should do it. Let's see if that sprays through now. Ooh, see how dark? That was not a good idea. Alright, so that means we need more spray through. I'm just going to spray it all the way through this time. Oh, did you hear that squeak at the end? That's not a good sign. Alright, hold on. Look at this. Is it coming through clean? It's mostly clean. There we go. Now it's coming through clean. Alright. Good. Alright, now we're going to start all over again with the translucent surface smoother. Say that 3 times fast with a lisp. What airbrush? I'm using a Badger Patriot 105. It says here, apply with a 0.5 or larger nozzle airbrush at 20 to 30 psi, 1.3 to 2 bar. And we don't know exactly what my needle is, but I think it's fine because it's obviously spraying through. All right, here we go. Put some more. I'm gonna just do a couple layers of this stuff and hair dry it in between each layer. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do that. And then we'll do this one over here. Now, obviously, the print striations on the sides are so thick. I don't know how many layers that is going to need. Okay. I think this is a good time to stop for a second and let this hair dry. So, it is 3D printed, Beam. Beam's bad, man. It's 3D printed. All right, we're gonna hair dry this dry and do another layer. So we'll just repeat that. Okay, that looks, it's getting there. It's working. Happy Adepticant. Hey, Black Skull. Coming to you from my spiritual Fort Waffle. Cute. I like that. Okay, hold on. I'm going to do overhead so you can see this. Why does Badger have 3D primer for a thicker coat? Wait, does Badger... This is their new 3D primer. That's what we're showing, Beams. That's the whole stream. It's in the title. We're trying this new primer out because it's, uh-oh, I heard something. There we go. So we're just going to do a few layers. It self-levels, and at least I hope it self-levels. Oh, you know what? It spit out a little chunk. Do you see that little chunk right there? That, again, that's probably my fault. Pull that out. There we go. All right, let's do this one over here. There we go. Okay. All right, let's hair dry that again. We're just going to do a few layers, and I'm just noticing the little chunks are probably, not sure if that's an air bubble. I think that might be an air bubble. Let's do this again. It does say to spray it 4 to 6 inches away. That might have been my issue because it wasn't far enough away. Yeah, those are air bubbles. Those are air bubbles that are popping. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to dry it with the hair dryer, and then we'll come back and fill those in. So you remember how I said we're not using this according to the directions? There are little cracks forming, and that, again, I think it's because of the hair dryer. Take a look at this. Can you see these little cracks? It's starting to act like a crackle paint, which means I need to slow the F down. All right, let's try it with cool setting and see if it does better with the cool setting with the hair dryer. Okay, so because it did this, and I'm almost positive it did this because of the heat, because it's not meant to be heated, but it is kind of cool looking. I don't hate it, and it would totally go with this base anyway. But obviously, if you're doing a model with a face, you don't want cracks all over the place. So let's do a little bit more. I'm going to try to fill this in again. Put my glasses back on. See if I can fill those cracks up a little bit. Oh yeah, they fill up just fine. What the heck? You like the effect? Right, but we want it to work out perfectly. See, now that it does fill up the cracks. So that's a positive. So if you mess it up, you can go back and fix it. Okay, that might do it. Let's try the hair dryer one more time with the cool setting this time and see if it does the same thing. You'd like to think, you think it'd be nice for regular models, assuming it works on regular models as a filler. Yeah, I believe it would, right? You can use it to kind of smooth things out. All right, I'm going to mute myself one more time. So the bottom one had deeper cracks, so they are still a little visible, but however, the top one's cracks are just about gone. So this, I want to go ahead and run one more test. See if I can fill these. Oh, come on. Don't squirt out. There we go. Pretty big layer right there. That might take forever to fill. It definitely does better with the thinner layers. I think because it is like a filler, just letting it dry naturally is going to work better. But I'm going to rinse this out. Okay, hold on. Beams Badman says, so what is a filler primer? What is a filler primer? I think that that's what this has 2 steps. So it's meant to go through airbrush though. Is your filler primer go through an airbrush? So Beams Badman says it doesn't make any sense though. I have multiple 3D printed terrain pieces and stuff. And mostly the only thing that works for me is a filler primer and sanding. Putting more and more layers won't fill the layers for me. But if this primer works, I might be interested. And just to let you know, Beam, I've never used anything on 3D printed stuff, so I am just experimenting. So I don't know if this is the right way or the wrong way to use it. And I also don't know if this is going to work either. So I'm making all these mistakes on camera for you so you don't have to. And you don't have to spend the money and see, you know, we're going to see how it works. But I also realize that I am not using this the way the bottle says to use it, because I'm trying to speed this up, because obviously we don't have 4 to 6 hours to wait. You use filler primers in cans. Okay. So this is designed for airbrush painting. So that's why it's going to be a little different from those can stuff. It kind of reminds me of PVA, but that's just because it's cloudy and it dries clear. So I think now that it's drying on its own, it's drying pretty quickly, even without the hairdryer. You can see which part of this is still wet. It's just that center bit. See? And then this part of obviously is still wet, but then some of this other part's already drying. Hi, Kirk Sarge Cormac. Hi, miss you too. You have to feed the beasties. Lamuna says, I'll play with it when a certain someone I know gets me a sample to try it out. Let's see. Okay, I wonder if hitting it with the hairdryer makes it not work right. And it does. So there are 2 things that happen when I use the hairdryer on it. One, I sprayed it too thick, so it dried thick. When you put thick medium or paint or anything, and you heat it up really fast, it crackles, right? And that's what's happening with this. It is crackling because of the temperature and the speed that it's drying. The paint is cracking. That's the first thing. The second thing is that I put it on too thick to begin with. You're meant to put this on in thin layers and let each layer dry in between. I wasn't doing that. So, but it is cool to know, because sometimes these mistakes you can do intentionally. Like if you want a cracked, like looking, you know, earthy surface, it would look really cool, and you can use it like that. So there's that. On a side note, what is in the terrarium in the background? Beans, is this the first time you've ever watched me? This is my African fat-tailed geckos, and actually we had somebody already request to have us get a gecko out. So I'm going to get a gecko out, and you guys can see exactly what's in the terrarium. I need to show people how to use the airbrush. Oh, you do? You know what? Before I get the gecko out, I need to clean this out, because yeah, it is time to get a gecko, but we got to clean out the airbrush, because otherwise that is going to solidify in here. And it says immediately clean out the airbrush. That is on the bottle. Yeah, it's already got crusties on the side of the, oh my gosh. Yeah, that dries really quickly. Look at that. It reminds me of the PVA glue. Look at this. If I can get the little piece. It reminds me a lot of the PVA glue. Look at that. Blech, blech. All right. Throw that out. We're going to rinse. Not that I have too much of a problem with that. Oh, anyway, from people. All right, we're gonna run this through all the way. And I'm gonna dump out half of the bottle because I don't have a good squeeze bottle. Where's all my squeeze bottles? Oh, hang on. Hold on. Might have a squeeze bottle up on the top of my shelf here. Aha. We're gonna just transfer this and I'm not gonna waste any more airbrush cleaner. Because I don't like waste. Seems like it could ruin airbrushes. If you don't follow directions, anything can ruin an airbrush. All right, I'm going to do that. All right, now I got my squeeze bottle of spray through cleaner. Just having an airbrush for 25 years can ruin an airbrush. Exactly. Spray through. Okay, now I'm going to clean off my hands real quick. I have cleaner on them. And I'm going to get out my gecko. Be right back. Hold on here. There is Ginger Biscuit. I'm going to get her out because she's laying right in front of me. Biscuit. So this is my African fat-tailed gecko, Ginger Biscuit, and doesn't like the smell of my gloves, I can tell. I have two African fat-tailed geckos. This one is Ginger, and she is amelanistic, which means she does not have much pigment on her. It's a cutie. Look at the camera, Biscuit. There you go. She's like a little dragon. And I also have another, oh, she doesn't like the light. She's like, blink, blink. And I know, she is cute. And then I also have another one called Peppercorn, and Peppercorn, nope, this is not a leopard gecko. Leopard geckos are completely different species. Beams, bad man. This is African fat-tailed gecko. They're a distant cousin. They're from Africa, whereas leopard geckos are they're from like Iran. Okay, I'm going to show you guys Peppercorn. She is the natural type or the wild type. So her coloring is more what they look like in the wild. But she is also a little bit more feisty and doesn't like to be out as much. See, she's already like, I don't like the smell of these gloves. Gross, yuck, plastic, I don't like it. This is Peppercorn. Look at their little squidge tail. There we go. Here's Peppercorn. She doesn't mind the light as much because she has more pigment in her eyes and in her skin and stuff. Go. They're both female because I can't keep two males together. Technically, you shouldn't keep any geckos together, but these two were raised together from the time they were really little. They've always been together, and they're both female, so female geckos tend to be less aggressive, and so far they've been good together. Here, I'm going to put that right there over you, sweetie. There we go. And those are my geckos, and that's what lives in the little terrarium behind me. Amazing animals. I really want a ball python or a leopard gecko. As you found out, you're allergic to most animals with hair. Well, this is a good one. All right, let's take a look. So this is already drying nice. Feel it. I can tell. Hold on, I'm going to take my glove off. It's cold to the touch, which means it's not quite dry. So I'm going to, let's try hair drying it just really lightly. I'm going to mute myself again. Okay, remember how I said I was making all the mistakes so you don't have to, like touching the frickin' thing when I'm not supposed to? I don't know what to do. I think I'm just gonna let that dry and then I'll sand it at another time. I'm hoping that it'll dry hard enough that I can sand it. The top part dried really nice and it is really smooth. So we're gonna airbrush that with a black and see if the print lines are gone. Obviously the print lines for the sides are not going anywhere fast, so that will be the last thing. I might actually put some Milliput on that because those are deep enough. Those are really deep. You don't have any rats, Ravage? Have you had some in the past? Oh, I forgot to clean out my airbrush. See, hold on a second. Put the cleaner. Oh, I like this so much better, so much less mess. Okay. Where'd the brush go? There we go. And clean. Get all the crusties off. Okay, and then I'll spray this through. Ooh, something is clogged because I left it too. There we go. There we go. Sometimes a little piece of, yep, there it is. Fill that up again. Did I get my package today? I don't know. I will have to check because I haven't been outside and we have an outdoor mailbox. Or like a little thing for the whole cul-de-sac. Okay. Let me make sure that that's sprayed through. Okay, good. Now we're gonna try. See, that is nice and smooth. That, oh, I shouldn't have touched that. That's gonna be submerged into water later anyway. All right, put gloves back on. And we're gonna hope and pray that this works because I think it's gonna work great, especially on the flat surface. So that makes me think that like when I go to do this side, I shouldn't have it up, but I should turn it so that it can self-level. So whatever direction you're priming, it needs to be able to be flat and horizontal. Because this one is fine. This one I had a little problems with because it's on a slope, it's just a small slope. So it kind of pooled in the middle there. I also sprayed it heavier in the middle. Hi, Teviston. How are you doing? All right. Boom, boom, boom. I'm going to put a little black in here. Wait, I just see a little crusty piece. Out. Okay, now I'm going to put my mask on because that is the way you need to be when you airbrush. Homemade applesauce, best thing you made in a while. Oh wow, that is awesome to hear. Did you take a picture, Teviston, of your homemade applesauce? There we go. Gotta shake it. Okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit in again. A little bit. Now there was a little thinner at the bottom of that, so I'm gonna try to spray that through till it goes black. There we go. No picks, it's gone already. That's awesome. All right, and I'm gonna spray 4 to 6 inches away. I hear a little rattle, and that usually means there's a bubble or there is some kind of paint blockage. There we go. That's starting to look really good. What happens if we spray this part? Hold on, I'm going to dump this because I hear a blockage. Your airbrush starts rattling. That's not a good sign. Okay. I'm going to fill it up with spray through right now and see if I can. There we go. Ooh, I see that chunk. Try opening this up all the way. There it's going through. It's just my compressor is so tiny it doesn't spray it through very fast. There we go. And there we go, all the way through. I'm just going to pull out the needle for a second. It's stuck. That means there's paint on it. Ooh, there we go. Yep, there was paint on it. Right through, right here. So I got my daughter Animal Crossing. Has anybody played it yet? It's supposed to be really cute. I wanted to make sure she had something to do. She's living with her boyfriend right now in a studio apartment, and I just can't imagine having to like live in such close quarters with somebody and not being able to like get away from them. Like they have a bathroom and that's it, and a big closet. Like even when you love someone, you need time apart. There are other streamers playing it. I thought so. Is that the main game everybody's doing right now? All right, pulling that out just to wipe off the end of this. Ooh, it got a nice big chunk. See if I hear that rattle. Nope, that's nice and smooth. Let's do a little bit more of this. And I'm going to run the hairdryer over the last of that. Ooh, last of that paint. Okay. I think it's finally clean. Even when I put this in the squeeze bottle, it still drips a little bit. There we go. Hair dryer time. I'm going to mute myself. Okay. Go. So I want to show you this because in my opinion, this looks like a success. So That looks really smooth. There's a couple, I mean, let's see what happens when we go over it with the white, because now we can try some different colors. Let's try the white and see what that does. But that looks smooth to me, y'all. But don't you think? There's a couple little straight, but look at the cracks are gone. I managed the cracks to go away. Pretty smooth, and it looks really smooth in comparison to like some of that. And that's the biggest part. Okay. Smoother. It's smoother. But right, remember we're not using this the way you're supposed to be using it, so that could be it as well. Let's try the white on top. I'm gonna pour a little bit of spray through. Bit. Ash Kathleen, thank you for the subscribing for 12 months. Did I get the last subscription? I think I mixed it. Oh, no, we got Painting Cricks. That's awesome. Ash Kathleen. 1 year. Ash Cadellin, that's it. Let me pronounce your name right. There we go. Happy Twitch anniversary, Ash. 12 months. I'm wondering if just spraying good layer of varnish over it and then priming it would do the same thing. It could. Has anybody ever airbrushed with PVA before? I wonder what that would do. All right, let me get my mask back on, and then we're gonna do the white to see how that looks. Be a sticky mess, would it be? I've heard of people airbrushing. I've heard of people airbrushing the hairspray. Doesn't that make spider webs? Or no, that's a super glue. If you airbrush super glue, it makes spider webs. And so people have done it. I don't know about PVA. Okay. All right, now put a little bit of this in here. Oh, you forgot to take the seal off. Okay. Oops. Have to really hate your airbrush to do that. I've heard it. I've heard of people doing it. I think as long as you are cleaning out your airbrush right away, and you know, you can always use a crap airbrush, right? I'm just going to put a little bit of that white in there. Oh, I just dropped some. Okay. Ooh. So as you know, white does speckle a little bit. But if we can get a nice layer, maybe it won't. Good. Now it looks pretty smooth. What do you think, Lamenis? I still see a few striations on the side, but I didn't get as much of that other layer. Let's put just plain primer right here on this side to just see the difference. Oh yeah, you can completely see the striations on that. I don't know if you can see those. Nope, you can't because the white blasted out. This is dry now. Boy, that is going to be so pretty if I do the side black and the top white with gray. Since the whole white blows out the camera, it looks super smooth. Okay, hold on. I'm going to fix that. Let's try adjusting the camera. All right, properties, video. Try adjusting it so you can see it better. Let's see. Let's do exposure. There. Now you can see this one had the most primer, and this one didn't have any primer right here, and you can definitely see the striations on that side there. You see the striations right there, but you don't really see it here except for on the sides, but that's where I didn't get as much of that first step. And then here I did, and that's not bad. There's a big old piece of lint on the top of that. I don't know. I think it looks good. What do you think? All right, let me adjust the thing back. That's my exposure back. Ah. Well, since the white blows, you're funny. Good morning, Godhood Mini. Hello. Oh, Shoshie's Minis. Hi, Stephen Hugh. How are you? So, okay, so far this is what I've got. Do you want to see any other experiments? You'd like to see how it does using their suggested way. I have a feeling it's going to be case by case deal. I think so as well. But the good news is that you can eventually get those cracks to go away. So I think taking things slow is definitely the way to do it. I need to get in here. The primer is showing me, like I'm going to have to come in here and either cut this part away, or I might have to fill it with some milliput or something, because that looks really gaudy right there, really noticeable. Okay, but I mean, this worked really well, and I think that I'm gonna try making some like a picture reference thing, and we'll see how far we can get with the other parts. Okay, I'm gonna run this through. Does anybody have any other questions before we finish up with this? I did a little hour-long demo. Sorry about my hair, guys. It's just today I couldn't be asked. Couldn't be bothered. Yeah, even this white primer dries pretty quick in the cup. That means it also dries faster outside the cup too. Spray through. Oh, there's some big chunks. Never try to spray the chunks through the airbrush. You'll always end up clogging yourself. How are you, Stephen Hugh? Anything new? Right, now we can run this. Part of me wants to put the gray over the black and white just to see how it runs, how it looks. Maybe we can spray it back gray. Yipes! Got my mask. Just making sure there's no little chunks of paint. Go. USPS says all the packages this week have been kind of slow, but that makes sense. I mean, things are probably, there's less people working. than ever before in the post office. So I don't mind if it takes a little longer than normal. Okay, I think I got this clean. Good enough. Hold on, let's pull this out because I don't want to have dried schmutz. Okay, that's good. That's nice and clean. All better. And now, like I said, before I do anything else, does anybody want to see anything else on this base while I'm practicing it? I'm looking at it, and this looks really smooth to me. I mean, I definitely think that it's one of those. Let me try sanding this bit and see if it's dry yet. Probably isn't. I'm going to probably end up messing it up. Find something to sand with. Hold on. Okay, got a little sanding stick. Does sand. That's promising. All right, that's really good. I'm glad that sands. So that means I'll be able to smooth that out again later too. So I'm wondering if this wouldn't do even better by sanding it first, getting it as smooth as possible, and then doing the print lines. I'm curious what would happen. Shall we try it? If we sand this. Okay. And then I'm just going to try this with the brush. We're going to try all the things. Why not, right? Let's try putting on this this is the white coat. Sorry, this is the 3D translucent surface smoother. See what happens. Because I know that the other Stynylrez Res things you can brush on. Of course, you're going to get some brush lines, right? Because it's not airbrushed. And if I try to do it, that's probably pretty smooth. That's what you'd normally do with 3D printed stuff. It's supposed to be so you didn't have to point. That's true. I just wanted to see what would happen if you did sand it a little bit and then put this stuff on. If it made any difference. So this I didn't have to sand at all. And this is, I feel like this one, it did accomplish it. I don't see print lines. If I look really close, I can see some small ones, especially next to the edges where I didn't get a lot of that translucent filler. And I only sanded here because we already made a mess up there with the translucent primer. And I touched it before it was dry. Oh. All right, I think I'm ready to be putting this aside for a second. My airbrush is clean. Turn that off. Let's work on something else, okay? I'm gonna let you guys pick on what you want to see me work on because I've got a couple different projects that I need to finish, but I'm pretty happy with this. Hold on, let me look. Yeah, you can't really see the striations anymore on this. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty smooth. There, I can kind of hold it. You can see there are a few on the very edge of this little hex, but that's because I did not get very much. What that is? I did not get very much of that translucent filler on there. So I'm going to work on this some more, and I'll take some pictures and I'll be able to show you guys how that turned out. I'm going to get that all sanded up nice. But I don't have an opinion on this product just yet because I need to work with it more. I need to actually use it according to the directions, which is going to be faster than a little 1-hour stream. So I will report back though, and I'll let you know what I think. But it is so far very promising. So there is that. I like the idea of it a lot. All right, let me show you these different projects that I've got to work on. Hang on a second. And you guys can show me what you want me to. So I have this commission here. Oops, let's move over there. This is Cecil. We do have things blown out a little bit. Let me work on the exposure just a bit. Exposure is a little bit high. This is Cecil, the two-headed, like a dragon spirit, like a two-headed serpent spirit from the Pacific Northwest. Do this, we can up the gain so you can get all nice again. Better. Blown out. Problem with white on camera. Thank you, Stephen Hugh. I think this will be, wait. The Seraphim says, looks smooth. Is that because of the multiple coats? Yes, I'm going to say yes, but you're supposed to use multiple coats. This says, applying light coats, building up until the entire effect is evenly covered. And you do need to build up this entire surface, basically. So you're supposed to do multiple coats of this stuff and just let it dry in between. This is Cecil, so I have just a little bit of stuff to finish on him. Mostly we're on this, probably on the side here, right here, and then a little bit on his head. And then I also have the Aries Knight from Kingdom, or sorry, this is not the Aries Knight, this is the Libra Knight from Kingdom Death that I just started working on. She needs more work. I'm not sure if I want to work on her on stream, but I'll put her out there if you want me to. And then I have this guy, which I started working on, and I got the skin tones for him. He looks pretty good. We could finish working on this guy as well. So like I said, I've got several things I don't mind working on. What do you guys think? Or type in the chat what you would like to see me work on. Finish the bust. Dora says finish the bust. And then we've got this Libra Knight. Almost done. And the Cecil. What do you store your minis in? What is this storage? Tell me what you mean, Kapaka. What do you store your minis in? The bust, the Libra. Okay, so we got a couple more votes for the bust. We've got one more vote for the bust and one more vote for the Libra. Do I have a display case? I do. I have a really nice display case. The Knight. Okay, there's the Knight. Another. So we got 2 and 2 so far. Those are the 2 you guys are voting on. Libra Knight. Okay. KDM Mini. All right, let's work on the KDM Mini because that needs to get done anyway. I'm going to show you what I started doing on the base as well. I started putting these purple lights down, and they look pretty cool so far. All right, where's my good brush? I just had it. Ooh, I put that little cap on. All right, get paper towel. I'm gonna put Cecil away as well. We'll finish working on the Libra. Okay, so there's a lot. It looks like it's almost done, but it's really not. There's a lot of little ticky stuff that has to be improved, but I got all the basic stuff done. Now I need to make this better, right? So let's look here. I need my purples. Use this dark purple. Let's get out a palette as well. Water. Oh wait, I got better water down there. There's such a thing. I'm gonna take a little quick drink break. Fill this up. And the sheet. By the way, for those of you guys who have not been watching me this week, I do have Redgrass Games palettes that I was taking to Adepticon that I was not able to because Adepticon got canceled. And so if you're interested, I can still ship these out. This is for North America only. I've got this is the complete pack of the Redgrass Games Everlasting Wet Palette. And it comes with this wavy here, 2 hydration sponges, 50 hydration sheets, which are the palette paper, the top and the lid, and then a strap to hold it together. That one's $44 plus Illinois sales tax and $10 shipping if you're buying in the US. And then this one is $22, and it does not come with the wavy. It comes with 15 hydration sheets and 1 hydration sponge. So it's a little bit less stuff, but it will definitely, it's a starter pack, so it will get you started, and then you can always get the rest of the stuff later if you like it. And so that may be all you need for your little quarantine, right? What paper do I only use the Redgrass Games palette paper? This is the hydration sheets here. You can buy them in packs of 50. This one is almost done. I only have like 3 sheets in this pack left. But I really, really, really love this paper. It doesn't ever seem to thread up on me. You know how the Masterson palette paper, you have to like treat it, and then you have to like treat it and then put it on your palette, and then over time the thread, the hair, the fibers of the paper will kind of lift up and you'll get little pieces of lint, and this does not do that. You're currently using the Mastersons? Well, you could just buy, if you live outside of the US, you can order through !Redgrass is my affiliate link here. Let me give that to you right now. Hold on a second. There we go. That is my affiliate link. If you live outside the US, that's the quickest and cheapest way to get anything. If you do live in the US, the fastest way to get something is through me, because the company, I believe, has German distributors. So right now I don't know what's being shipped to the US from Germany. Vegas. Awesome. So yeah, you can order from me. I have palette paper. If you want to just order some palette paper and try it on your Masterson's palette, that's totally okay. I also have the sponges as well. And so you can just order a sponge and some paper and see how that works since you've already got a palette. Because you don't need the Redgrass palette, right, if you have something. But the paper and the sponges are unique. They're different. And I recommend them. And I'm sponsored by them, so. Yes, you love that wet palette? So good. Yeah, the big one is nice as well. I don't have any of the big ones here. But what you can do is you can take the lid off of this and lay it right next to it. And because if you get the complete palette, you have 2 sponges, so you'll essentially have 2 palettes. All right, I'm gonna put some dark purple on my palette. Speaking of palettes, that was just my little pitch because obviously I'm trying to make up income since commissions are not as plentiful. Any other way I can, you know, You guys know that I've been doing Twitch for 3 years now and completely with no paywalls. A lot of other painting teachers have paywalls, and I do not. So, but you know what? I can't make a living if I'm not making commissions or if I'm not charging something. So if you guys help out, it really does go a long way to me doing this. Like the sound of that? Yeah, definitely message me after stream. You can message me on Facebook or on Twitch, whichever is easiest for you. There we go. We got a subscriber. Thank you, Seraphim. It really does make a difference. It seems like it doesn't, but it does. There we go. Thank you so much. Yeah, and you, like I said, you can subscribe for free with your Twitch Prime. Okay, so I've had a layer of the transparent purple on top of this. What I first did was I went over everything with white. I didn't airbrush it. I hand painted all these little stone faces with white. And I'm going to do it again here in a minute because I want to kind of create a layered effect. Put this, I'm going to fold that up right there so I can dab that on here if I need to control my paint and water. Okay, so my next step, because I want to make this look like this lantern fell on the ground and is still shining onto these faces. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this ivory right here. And I really probably should use some pink as well. You know what? Let's do the pink. Let's do this lavender actually. We'll go lavender pink, and then from pink we can go easily to yellow. If you go from purple to yellow, you're going to get a muddy kind of transition color. So I like to transition from pink. Yes, definitely hype. That is awesome. Oh, I just realized I left some corned beef and cabbage upstairs, and I don't know if my husband has been keeping an eye on it or not. Probably message him. Yeah, this looks good with this lavender. My time with it. It's going to be a little tedious. This is a higher level commission, so I do need to take my time a little bit more than I normally do on a stream. Which is also why I don't normally stream my commission. Get stuff done much quicker if I'm just oh yeah, that looks okay. I originally layered the transparent purple over this white. It didn't quite do it for me. It dried a little bit chalky and funky looking. And now we can go back with this lavender color. Fix the base a lot more. And I might actually put a little bit of lavender in. What happens? Lavender on this. Feathers. I like it. It kind of goes with the purple base. I like to have stories of colors, color stories. Oh yeah, that's already better. Let's take this dark purple and I'm going to make this little strap here purple as well. Yes. I do like that a lot. mostly she is metal, and I'm trying to think about what can I do to change up the story, because it's very blah. I don't feel like I am happy enough with how her metals look, so I want to add some color here and there to improve. We're already improving these little faces on the bases. Faces on the bases. So tell me what everybody's been working on. Tell me what you're planning on showing on Friday. Anybody cooked anything cool? One of you guys made applesauce. I heard that earlier. Is that Kapaka? So over here where all the purple is, this is the light that's kind of hitting from the lantern. That's my story anyway. It's kind of giving off a lantern. Thank you for following, Gil Mayviel. How are you? I like the name. Welcome. We're just painting a Kingdom Death model right now. You missed it. We were painting a 3D printed model, and I think it came out pretty well. And I'm definitely gonna try it more in the future and see if I can make it work even better. Getting there. Now, so we're going from lavender. Now we're going to go to pink. I'm eventually going to make, we're going to go through the rainbow a little bit here. I think we'll go to peach, which is a orangey, maybe that, see how that looks. And then, okay, do I have, here's the yellow. This is a really, really yellow, so I need to mix this with some ivory, because otherwise it's not going to go. And I actually don't like that peach there either, so I'm going to do a little drop of true orange. Just a little bit. See if I can saturate that color out a little better. Happens. Still desaturated. Try it over here. Getting better. That's better. See how I can go from lavender to pink, this color orange, and then to this. And so let's mix that orange with that pink and see what happens. Interesting. Make it work. This is an experiment. Yeah, that actually looks good so far. So this is going to kind of gray out. If that makes sense. All of this is going to be lit up. Sides. More orange. Okay. Now we go to the orangey yellow. Let's see what happens with our next little layer here. That's pretty. Our final layer will be the yellow. Yellow and maybe even some bit of white, maybe? I like that warmth. We're going to mimic that warmth in here inside the lantern. Doesn't look good yet. It will though. Bright yellow. And now we can have the, see, we went all the way up to the yellow. And now when that yellow light shines on that purple, it's like almost like a little sunset of color. And look at how pretty. But we couldn't just go from straight from purple to yellow because it wouldn't quite look good. I don't want it to match this lantern up on the top of here, so far. I'm gonna get some white on my palette. Oh, no, I'm gonna use this ivory. Sorry, I lied. Go. Now I'm gonna put some white. And so when you think about how a lantern is laying, right? So that the hottest part is going to be at the bottom, right? That's where the white's going to be. That's where the warmest part, and then you can layer up to the yellow. I'm using the white with the mixed with the yellow so it's nice and pastel. And I'm going to do it on this side as well with the white. Oh, I'm going to stay on camera. See how I angled it a little bit? Can you see that? And then I'm going to put the yellow next. That's the pastel yellow. Let that dry a little bit. And the top, I need to let that dry because it's still fighting me a little bit. Need that real orange now. Since orange is it's a secondary color, but some of those secondary colors are difficult to mix. I like to have a true orange. Now I'm going to take my yellow and my ivory to make a light pale yellow. That's going to be my final highlight and my light effect. all over these rocks. Now, because I've got all these purples in here, I need to have them, I've got some of them in the model, but I also need to have this pale yellow as well. Yes. Now it feels like she's in a darkness a little bit more, because this is really lighting up her legs, and it makes the rest of the color in the legs look darker. Just going to use the ivory now in the middle. Really highlight that. I do like that a lot. These little mini hands that she's got need some yellow on them as well, because the other part of her legs also has it. We're just gonna give that a little bit of a yellow glaze. I like it. Thank you for following, JMO. Thanks, Amberden. I appreciate that. I really do. Let's look at this base some more, because I need to go back in and smooth things more between the pinks and the purples. There could be a lot smoother transitions. Those colors. Sometimes I get painting a little too fast and it looks a little sketchy, and then I have to go back like this and basically smooth things out a lot more. That ivory. Now we all know that these stone faces are supposed to be white, so I'm going to take my ivory again. Go in, careful. Trying to get at least the important parts blocked out with the white. Just on maybe part of the stone. Yeah, I like it like that because I want white to be the final light. Yellow is good, but white is going to, I think, balance it a little bit better. Okay, so the lantern again, still not done. Nice and yellow glowing. Watch what happens when I take, let's use this black, let's use this coal black, yeah, let's use this black and paint the sides of the lantern black. Whoa, I ruined my nails. Okay. How well did the 3D primer work? I think it worked pretty well, Amberden. You missed most of it, but check it out. So this is the one that the surface that worked the best. Let me flip. So you can kind of see how smooth that is. This part I need to go back and sand a little bit because I messed that up. But I think if you use it according to the directions, it was going to work great. I wasn't using it according to the directions, so I need to do some more testing and experiments with it, but I think ultimately it's going to be fine. I got paint all over my finger. Messy, messy. How are you doing, Amberden? Did you get more of your yard work done? Okay, we're gonna paint this. I'm gonna clean up this lantern and you're gonna see a big difference. I'm making corned beef and cabbage for dinner. Nice and easy, doesn't take a ton of prep. Tastes super good and lasts a while in the fridge. And it's a comfort food, right? No, like a traditional boiled dinner, essentially. I like to make corned beef and cabbage, especially around St. Patrick's Day. All right, look at that. That already improved that lantern so much. Just going around and blocking, you know, dark lining it all. Okay. Like it. I like it. So pink and purple. And then into my yellow. And then into bright yellow. Going back and forth with the white and the yellow and everything, just so I can smooth things more. That already looks much better. Yay! Oh my gosh. Nadia Crisis, thank you so, or Nadia. Is it Nadia? Nadia Crisis, thank you for the follow. On this Kingdom Death Libra night right now. Everton says, a little work done. Started planting roses, but I've run into a problem. Aw, thank you, Nadia. Really appreciate that. Cameron has been working on his roses. Is that what you're, or you started planting them? You need to rip out loads of stuff. Can't burn it area. And normally you take it to where they collect garden waste and get it composted, but yeah, everything's closed. Well, I feel for you. I mean, you don't really have access to a wood chipper either, I bet, right? It's all tough. Here, let's put more purple, darker purple on this side. We can concentrate our light purples. I even use some blacks over here just to cover up too much paint that I got everywhere. Yeah, I kind of like that soft glow right there of just the there we go. All right, yeah, that's already tons better. Let's do that on this little rim. That's like kind of like breaking the fourth wall, right? Get some purple in there. Better. All right. Yeah, on this guy, I might actually make the base purple. Well, no, I'm lying. Sometimes I change my mind in the middle. Let's do it. Dark black purple. Yeah. Changed so much for the better now. I'm going to take her lip, her upper lip, and I'm going to make that more of a dark purple as well. Yeah, I like it. See that? I feel that brings it a little bit more character. Those little bits of purple that I'm throwing in here and there are making a difference in how the rest of the armor is looking. Hi, 14 Punk. How are you doing? Diego Sanchez says, hello, Shoshie, great work. Greetings from Colombia. Oh, hello. Hola. How are you? Thank you so much for coming and watching me all the way from Colombia. Amberton has a garden shredder, but it only reduces the bulk, and you're driving your neighbors nuts. I'm sorry, Amberton. It's kind of funny, but it's kind of not. I feel bad for your neighbors, but. All right, we want the highest concentration of light right by the lantern. And the warmest, with a little bit of yellow all over the place here. And see how it kind of gradually gets more yellow and more diffuse as it. And I think I want to put some kind of highlight on this toe. The lantern is shining on it, so I'm going to just really put the straight up non-metallic color here to bring that highlight higher. Same thing with these other sharp highlights. People say you can't mix non-metallic and metallic, and I don't agree. You can. You just have to know where to do it. And you have to know where to do it well. That. And then we can add some of this yellow in the lamp. Here a little bit. Now, I need to do edges of the fire need to be kind of like on the edges. How do I don't know how to put it, but I feel like the glow is on the inside. Uh-oh, I hear my husband running. I wonder if it started over boiling. The white. Yeah, that's better. And now we'll go with the black again and reclaim edges, because these lanterns are going to be completely backlit, so they're going to really be black. Fine. Are those metals from Minotaur Metal Forge? No, all the metals are from well, shoot, Pro Krill. I get all of my metallics right now are Pro Krill, so we've got some really beautiful ones. This is the rich gold. It's really nice. Yes, it should be time to take a cat stretch, shouldn't it? Hold on one second. You suspect that there are going to be a lot of neighbor versus neighbor disputes over the next few months? Yes. All right, let's everybody go check the cabbage. All right, I'm going to go check the cabbage. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to put up my be right back. Just know that I will be right back. I'm going to go check the corned beef and cabbage. I'm back. And I was right. It was over boiling, but luckily Mike turned it out, but he was in a meeting at the same time, so I'm glad I got to go check it. You came back from a 15-minute walk. Let's all get up and stretch just while I was upstairs. Oh, that feels good. Crack. You want to come back tomorrow, guys, because I'm going to be working on Han Solo some more. We've been doing this is for subscribers only. I'm doing subscriber only stream because you guys, I really appreciate your subscriptions. So I'm doing a subscriber only stream and I'm painting this vinyl screaming kit from 1993. And we've got a ways to go on him, but that'll be tomorrow. Make sure you come back tomorrow if you're a subscriber. We're gonna work on that. Han does look good. He's really neat. Hi, our staff. Hello. Alex Klingel. Hello. Right, I'm gonna put this gold on my palette. A little bit. I need something a little brighter. I think. It's currently like a dark kind of steampunky gold, but let's see what happens. There we go. Put that right on that white that I've already got there. That gold right there. Yeah, that brightens up fast. Oh my goodness, do you see what that did? Just having the white underneath the gold pops. Okay, so now we're gonna go and dark line everything. dark line the hell out of everything. We need a nice dark line in color. Hold on a second. What can we do for dark line? Nuln oil is a possibility. Have some of that. I feel like I want to use a really dark color, like intensity, or you know what? Let's use this black indigo. It's a dark purple. I think it's a dark purple. Let me look at it. This is, yeah, we'll use that. Ah, the Bug King. How are you, Bug King? Mad love for Bug King. 33 months of subscribing. That has been so appreciated. We're using this black indigo and we're going to dark line everything, and I'll show you the tricks to dark lining that I know. Well enough, you hope? Okay, I hope you're well enough as well. Right, I'm going to show you on the back because there's a lot of nice, good faces to dark on. So I've got my brush, and everything that's separate is going to get a dark line. So we'll separate all the parts from the other parts, right? So it doesn't look like it's painted. I think that's what this model might be missing, is some nice dark lining underneath each one of these little faces here. It's tedious to dark line. That's why I don't like doing it, but it makes such a difference on a small model, especially with that dark purple. See how that already is standing out and is popping? Like a little drop shadow. She looks like she has a dung beetle night. She does, doesn't she? This is the Libra night. She's kind of new. And I kind of did go with the dung beetle idea with her. Just a little bit. The reason why I like this dark indigo black indigo, it's not black, it's actually a purple, but it's nice and rich. And my hope is that it will make everything pop when I get. Yeah, see how that's already making a nice contrast behind her knees? Let's that whole part. Yeah, that's looking good. Yes. He's like, are you streaming? I'm streaming. I'm streaming all day. Yeah, because I heard like running and trampling upstairs, and I wanted to make sure my corned beef and cabbage wasn't going to boil over. That's fine. After I'm streaming, yeah, yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, that was Mike, guys. He was minding my corned beef and cabbage that I'm trying to cook. He wanted to know if I still wanted to go flying. See how right here, just a little dark line's going to separate that skin from the armor. That's good. Such a great paint job. You're really wanting to build and paint. Thank you. You know what? Why don't I feel good about it? Let's look at this. Tell me why I don't feel good about it. There's something about it that is missing, and I don't know what it is. It's like when you work on something too much and then you can't see your own mistakes. You know, you get in a kind of a tunnel vision with it. I'm in a tunnel vision with it. And so maybe I just need to set it aside. Bug King knows. Bug King always knows. color temperature variation between the skin and the armor is too similar. Yeah. So what would you do instead? That helps me a little bit. It helps me halfway. Contrast needs some aspects to pop. Yeah, that definitely. I think it also needs, I think Bug King's right about color. There needs to be some other color in there. Darken the armor, maybe, yeah. Yeah. Red or brown contrast. Yeah, I think, or cool the armor down with some blues. Yeah, because everything is warm, warm, warm. So even the purple is kind of warm. Red or brown. Let's try that, because we've got a lot of purple. Let's try red or brown. I tried that a little bit, Stephen, but it didn't quite work for me. Let's try this burnt red. It's kind of right between the red and the brown. It's still warm, but let's see. Put some tiny bit up in here. A little purple with it. I don't like it. Yes, I think it was, I think that's it. The red does something to it, doesn't it? Yes, yes. Okay. Stephen, I think you might have hit the nail on the head there. Just adds some interest, doesn't it? And I want to put that back in there. What do you think? A little bit of red. Really pulls on the red in the face. True. Yeah, that's true. Bag of fish. I think so. It's like it's like a note in a music that just kind of gives the whole piece a little bit of body in the song, if that makes sense. I'm relating it to music, but just does something a little bit. I like it. You know what? It also pulls the red out from the lanterns. Yes. Oh, I love it. I think I got it. Yes, yes, yes. Sorry. I get a little exuberant when I, it's like that little thing that it needed. I wish I could tell you why it works, other than I know that it's pulling the reds from the lanterns and the lips, like you said. It's pulling the story together a little bit better. I especially like it right there and right here. It's decreasing the value on the armor as well, which is helping bring the flesh tones back out. They were getting lost in the composition. Yes. Yes, it is. I agree. Thank you. Thank all of you. You guys are awesome. Okay. So we need to go back up here with my dark liner color, because all of this needs to be nearly black right here. Oops. Got a little too much. Sometimes when you just go in and you dark line everything, that just makes a big difference. If I can reach in here, take some brush control. All right, one more spot right here. And again. I'm going to put a little bit of that red on that part too, because like Bug King says, changes the value. That increases the contrast. Now, tell me if I'm wrong. Right now, my whole eye goes right to her crotch, right? I don't think that's a bad thing, but we need to increase the darkness up here if we want to make that the thing. It's unusual, but that's where the lanterns are, so it makes sense. So let's see what happens when we darken things a little bit up here. My reds. You like it? Go back with some purple again. Bob says, you'll need some of that nail polish on it. I know, right? Her chest is very bright and draws my eye first. And it does me too, but that's where the lanterns are. So it makes sense. I'm going to change her color of her hair here completely. Going to make a difference. Let's look at the art card for this, because where is it? Here it is. The art card in this model is unusual as well, because it's all black and white. Now they've darkened her hands. We should probably do that as well. See how her face is, her chest is still the focus, but there's more blingy highlights up here. Major improvement with the black hair versus the blonde. Yeah, we had kind of like a silvery color before. And even in the art card, it's still like a neutral color. What time is it? It is 4:51. Okay. We have a little time left. Good. I feel like now I'm on a roll. Thank you so much, all of you. You know, it's so good to be able to get that instant feedback and take a model that you're not sure about and then turn it to one that you're like, oh, that's working for me now. Helped a lot. So everything got much darker. Let's go here with some of these reds. Shoshie, I think if you took a picture of her in black and white value over the whole piece, it would basically be the same. No focus areas and no dark areas. Let's do it. Let's do it. I like that idea. Okay, we're going to take a picture. So if you guys don't know, you can take a picture. See. And then you can, we're going to take a picture of her. And then you can go in and put filters on it when you edit it sometimes. Let's see. See if I can do it with this. Ooh, look what happens when we increase the contrast. That's another thing you can do is you can increase contrast and change saturations, change the value. Do anything. Brightness. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go to black and white. Exposure, that's not it. Yeah, thank you so much. Working on her. It's getting there. She's getting better. She wasn't as good as she is now, like she was a minute ago. But you think that the hair is black is helping to bring the face back out as well. I do too. So what can we do? We need to, let's put a little bit of, let's see what happens when we go with a little contrast around the helmet here. We're going to add some of this dark lining we talked about. We're going to dark line the hell out of everything up here. And also we're going to add some reds to the helmet. And then we're going to put some light highlights on the skin. I think that will also help. Thank you for the follow, Jaco Kiro. Sorry for your garbage typing. No, I get it. I get what you're meaning. Holy crap, you've made progress. Isn't that funny? Diomedes. We just barely worked on it a little bit. He's good though, huh? Yeah, we didn't work on it very much before. Okay, so we were in the process of, let's see, let's take a little bit of, take a little bit of yellow and ivory, just a smidge. Yellow comes out, hopefully, and maybe we can highlight the nose maybe a little bit here. And the top upper lip, potentially. And what my thinking is by detailing the face a little bit and getting some of those highlights in there that are brighter than the ones on the legs, that's my hope, we can bring your eye back up to the face. look weird for a minute, but I have to sketch in my values and I can kill them back down in a minute. Now let's take that kind of peachy color I've got, blend that in. Now that knocks that down a little bit. How are you, Diomedes? Okay, let me take a look. If you select the second option at the bottom, you can scroll all the way to the right. That's a pretty good, okay, let me see. So we took that picture. Hold on. Let me try it. Instagram sometimes is easier. We've got the picture here. And then we're gonna photo, oops. Oh, there we go. Okay, and then there's black and white. Well, kind of. Black and white. That is, I see what you're saying. Yeah, everything is kind of all the same values. Can you see, guys, what he means? We need a lot more contrast. A lot more. We need to darken down the metal a lot. Essentially. You use Snapseed on your Android? There, Seraphim says off to work meeting. All right, have a good one. Thanks for stopping by, Seraphim. Good. Finish recording another lecture. All right, let's see. I think that's a good instinct, is we're gonna darken. Go real dark with this dark lining. Already starting to look better. Interesting in a way, right? So let's put some of that darkness in here, in her shoulders. Good. Trap traps. Maybe force some purples into the shadows. Yeah, that's just you took the make the skin brighter by not changing the skin at all. Exactly. This is the Pro Acryl Trans. No, actually, this is. I'm using a little bit of this Reaper Indigo Black because it's real dark, but it's not black. It's not. It's kind of like Nightshade Purple, where it's like a really dark purple, but it's not black, and I like it. All right. Force that contrast with that darks. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. So part of my issue was when I started this model, I started spray painting it with metal. But that doesn't leave you anywhere to go for your shadows, really. So now we're basically going and painting everything down. I'm starting to like it a lot more. I think we need to dark line the hell out of this model right now. Let's see what happens when we start like dark lining all of the armor pieces here. Everything gets a little drop shadow on armor because armor has very dark shadows. Yes, let's do a little red on that. So much more personality now. Drop shadow up here. A nice heavy dark shadow. So much better. Okay, now, I have some of this metallic medium, which is next to white, basically. It's white. It's going to be, I'm going to try to put this near her face on some spots. Not a lot. But basically, she has a really bright highlight here up on these bowls on top of her head. She's got a highlight that goes down this key and then on her mouth. Just downloaded Snapseed. All right, so here we go with the white. Put a tiny bit on the end of her nose just because she's a weirdo. Whatever, right? Hold on. Got a little tiny, I might have to put a little bit of a drop shadow on this. Got this little weird key thing on her mouth. I got a little smudgy, so I'm gonna have to go back into it. Under this little bowl. Give that a little shadow up here. What's nice is this particular paint, this Reaper paint. It's not a transparent, but it does have some transparent qualities to it. Oh, I do like that. So even though I'm shading down with it, it's still letting some of that gold kind of show through. And I'll be able to go in with the gold in a minute. Come on. Oh. Get rid of all these little highlights up here. What happens? Stuff starts focusing in on her head because that highlight that I just put on her face now captures your attention. how that works. Let's flip it upside down a minute. Okay, let's flip it again. And that is, now, are you looking at her face or are you looking at her crotch? Because now I'm looking at her face. Are you? Question. A little bit of this gold up here. Let's do a little bowl. Love it. The fact that you have metallic under all of those tinting layers is making the metallics look super rich and interesting. Yes, it should also knock the luster way down, which is another good form of contrast you can leverage. Yes. Claptrap says, wild curve ball, making the hair a similar purple to the insides of the shoulders would draw the eye instantly to the face. So the same color as the shoulders. So if we make the hair have some reddish color in it, is that what you're saying? Tell me, be a little bit more specific, Claptraps, because I like what you're going with this. Hey, Snork. How are you doing, Katie Lynch? Boobs, always boobs, unless it's booty. All of her skin pops so much more now, yeah. Diomedes says, why do you have to call me out for looking at her crotch? I feel attacked. Well, that's where the focus was, so don't feel bad. Painting looks good. Thank you. I like the fact that new people are popping in and saying that she's looking good. Let's put some reds here. Like I got a little white on that part of it. Okay. Claptrap says, so a purple tone to the hair, not as red as there is a lot of red already across the model. Yeah, there is a purple tone to the hair. Can you see it? Maybe it needs to be like more purpley. Let's try that. A little better. Yeah, I think you're right. Is that what you meant? Hey, thanks for the follow, Marmundo 89. This is the Libra Knight from Kingdom Death. We're getting much better. Not Luthera says, hey, I'm super inspired to see this paint scheme. I tried to do a tight color range on a model the other day, and it did not have good contrast. Yeah, and we've been fighting with contrast too, not Luthera. It's been a little bit of a struggle. Been fighting this model a little bit. Let's see what happens when we give a little bit of a light glaze of this purple to this hands and shade these hands down a little bit so they're not quite so fleshy looking, right? I'm just curious what happens. Gray these out just a bit. Will it go? Will your face go straight to her? Give me 1 second. I think I need a little purple and a little ivory, maybe. At this. Oh, it looks dirty and sooty. Helps, but it didn't do what I wanted it to do. Let's add some peach to it so it still looks peachy. Just lowered the intensity and desaturated the hands a little bit. I feel like it helps a little bit, but we've got to work on it because it's not quite what I wanted it, but it was close. This light purple. Kind of otherworldly. Just cool the temperature down a little bit. Now I'm in my zone, guys. Come on. Oh no. I need to look at that a distance. Okay, hold on. Cataloged all your KDM models on KDM Collector, so I don't have to dig through models. Hold on, I missed something. Not Luke there is also painting super tiny hero fade. Yeah, that's tough. But usually the bustier, the bustier and the skin on the top is too similar. Yes, so what can we do? Setting that, let's darken that too then. Let's look at this. Yeah, it went pretty dark, so let's real dark with that. That's a lot better. What do you think, Bug? Just take that metal away altogether. Just make it kind of cool. Now it goes straight to her face, doesn't it? Let's do a little red. God, not terrible. Although I kind of wonder if I should just go back to the purple. I kind of like that actually. When am I doing my Primal Huntress? That's a good question. I should do that maybe Friday. Is that what you meant, Bug King? But yes, significantly better. Yeah, I agree. Oh, I'm really liking her now. Really liking her. We need to change up all that. That all needs to be dark, doesn't it? All right, well, I'm in a good direction with her now, at least. Are the legs meant to be like leggings or bearskin? Bearskin, but I'm willing to change that. I think bearskin. Because look at this photo. See, they're bare. He reminds me of a character that could be from, what do you call it? What's the name of the Kingdom Hearts? Doesn't she look like a Kingdom Hearts character? Come here, Mike. Look at this. Setting up a darker area around the face and chest, gradually bringing the value back up toward the extremities. Contrast between the darker metals and the bright skin is now more pronounced than anywhere else. Good. Yes, you think. All right, I think that's where we're going to call it for today. I think that's a good stopping spot. At least now I feel so much better about her. And thank you guys so much. So, everybody give yourself a pat on the back for helping me for, yes, like this. This is what I do. Snapchat says, I would personally cool them down as they don't match the rest of the skin. Yeah, I probably will do that. I think that's a good idea. I'm just going to read all your suggestions real quick because I don't want to forget. Kingfisher Games, hello. Combination of Nemesis and Nox. Yeah. McCready, I don't have a Patreon. So if you want to support me, there's a donation button down below. And there's also, you can always subscribe, but donations are the best way to support me because that money just goes straight to me. Not all of it, but a good amount of it, more than Twitch gets. Let's see. All right, let's find somebody to just go ahead and raid. So here we go. I'll be back tomorrow for subscribers only. We're going to be painting Han Solo, and then Friday maybe we'll do that Primal Huntress bus. I think that's a really good idea. So I've got more Kingdom Death coming, so keep watch. Let's find out who is on Twitch right now. Let me raid. Hannah Hanabi. We're gonna raid Hannah Hanabi. She's awesome. I love her. So go ahead and punch that raid button. Get ready. We're gonna go ahead and give Hannah a raid. Thank you guys for the hangout. I really appreciate it. We had a great stream. Yep, there you go. Streamlabs tip. Thank you, Bug King. Yeah, if you want to tip me, I appreciate it. Otherwise, I will see you guys tomorrow for subscribers only. Have a good night.
Watch your